and you're talking to somebody who knows, who have partnered with several different churches and several different organizations, and we're still nowhere. We're still just as hungry as we were when I started. And I'm upset behind that. So my why for entrepreneurship in agriculture is imperative. I have the certain needs as a certain blood type. My children might have a different blood type. You might have an extended family. You don't necessarily know what everybody needs. So you're able to play with that with your benefits. Now you have a place that you can try to attempt to grow whatever it is. You have an ability now to reach out to someone called Darcia Houston, Major Melanin, to figure out how you can move forward in your entrepreneurial endeavors. So buying land, it's not the easiest thing, and most of you don't even have to. Why? Because you are a family heir. You have family that has heirs property and nobody's doing nothing with it. It's just sitting. That's one opportunity. Or you can learn how to grow in your window. I teach as the National Women of Agriculture's president here at the Dallas chapter, that women should go and start growing in their windowsills. You could get a farm number just based on the type of crop that you're growing, because the definition is the attempt to annually make $1,000. So if you want to grow ginger or turmeric or garlic in your window, and they're at $17 a pound, you know that you qualify. And then it's the attempt, because something could happen to the crop or it might not make it. And then therefore you're still a farmer. Guess what? Because you've tried. You're trial and error, but you know what you want to grow because of the things that you actually eat. You know that you can actually grow things from where you are by getting a pot, using a balcony, a back porch. I grow stuff in my truck. You can use anything. But if you're really savvy and you want to know how to move forward, most of you all get income tax checks in the beginning of the year. A couple thousand here, 5,000, 7,000. What is wrong with the family members? Mom, daughter, son, why can't y'all put y'all little refund together and go buy some land directly? I'm not talking about 50,000, 70,000. I'm talking about a good $10,000, $20,000. But there's an opportunity for distraction right now. You're distracted by this election. You're distracted by all of what's going on in the media with these famous people. But you need to be selfish to get this business going. Why? Because you can't add value if you're not selfish first, if you're not healing you first, if you don't know how you're going to grow, if you're not doing anything to maximize your health. It's hard to really execute anything. It's hard to be my best and collaborate and bring all of what I have to the table when I'm steadily just going places and I'm out of whack. I don't really know what my lane is. I know what my lane is going to be because I know what my deficiencies are. I have sickle cell. So therefore, hydration is important to me. So what am I going to do? I'm going to grow things that maximize hydration. If I know that my child has asthma, I'm going to grow things for that. If I know someone has heart disease, I'm going to grow things for my disease. Now I'm adding value and I can show other people how to do those things. So in entrepreneurship, it's not just about the growing and the selling, because everybody doesn't want to put their hands in the soil. Everybody doesn't want to be filthy, rich nutrients. But there's the logistics in this. Do you have a box truck? Do you have, an ability to help get food to market for some people? Are you able to make soaps or teas or something entrepreneurial? Are you able to inspire your whole family? Because this is something that is imperative to their health. Not just the act of actually growing, but to be outside with the Son of God. The only source that can help you ground, help you balance, activate your vitamin D. Most of us are running around here vitamin D deficient. The land can do that. Outdoors can do that. but you have to figure out your why. You have to go into entrepreneurship, agriculture with the why, because that's the only way you're going to get it done. If you actually start seeing that your cholesterol levels are dropping, or your high blood pressure, your hypertension, if you start to see those changes for you, you will be motivated to do more. This project, the Moses Project, is about activating, inspiring, infusing the opportunities. Now, if you understand that you don't want to be a part of the pharmacy and you want to be a part of the farm because your lifestyle is imperative to you, you want family dynamics, you want to move forward with better health, and you want to be able to play with your great-grandkids, then it is imperative for you to consider growing what you know you need, finding a place to do so, and telling other people about it. That's one huge way. But the other things are, we are faced with struggles and challenges. And for me personally, I don't want to, moving forward 2025, to collaborate with another church or school. And let me tell you why. With the schools, I'm upset with the lack of ability for them to infuse trade. I've been working with various different DISD schools, and they have a hard time trying to pay me. They have what they need. They have the greenhouses, they have the soil, they have the students, they have a place for us to do everything, but they always seem to not be able to pay. And I'm upset because we're not financially any more literate. We're now at a sports, arena as far as mindset. It's all about what you have on. It's all about what you can do. It's not about what you can grow for sustainability. You cannot be sustainable needing someone else's food. Are you familiar or aware that the grocery store is the least amount of nutrients that you can get? A lot of preservatives. So I'm over institutions that have yet to still move us forward, and we're trying to beg for a place for better schools or for mold not to be in the cafeteria. We're not moving forward, we're moving behind when we're dealing with these institutions. Now with the church, most churches have commercial kitchens, they have permits, they have insurance, they have the people, they have parking. But yet you got maybe 20% of your members work with food, do catering or something other than that, some sort of food business. Why are we not leaving the church trying Miss Betty's new chicken or Nana's casserole? Or why isn't money being allocated for the businesses to utilize the church as if it was a recreation center? There needs to be more done. But I want to know why. Why all churches give out food and just do these things? Who's telling you that you can't do more? Is leadership lacking the struggle so they don't really know how to connect? Or is there some sort of force out here, some sort of collaboration, some sort of contract out here that's helping you omit what the needs of the people are? We're continuing to struggle. And you having one event a year for Black businesses to come and patronize each other is not enough. How do we do more? How do these organizations get all together and go trick out a whole city? Go to Atlanta, people coming from everywhere. Those are not our hotels. That's not our gas stations. These are not our cars. These are not nothing about when you go and you do what you do is elevating us. All of that money for that one weekend that your organization, your church, or whatever, your Girl Scout, whatever you did for that weekend, the little 5,000 or the 2,200, whatever you did, you at least had more than 10,000 people there. But we got nothing. And then when y'all get back together, you come together and you meet and you know, we're gonna go feed the homeless. What kind of comparison is that you need to go feel good about giving somebody some food that they already should have rights to, and you get to go home? That's not sustainability. So that's why my why on why I need to be sustainable, why I need to grow my own medicine, why I need to grow my own herbs, and why I think you should is because your entities, your organizations are not standing up for you as we speak, in my opinion. And I'm frustrated about that. I'm frustrated that we want to put on a party or we care about what our birthday, bash is gonna be so big. And we behind on the bills. I don't like that. I don't mind driving a vehicle that's got all different kind of parts on it and it's paid for and it's got holes in the seat. Why? Because it's mine. Because the land is mine. Because the home is mine. That's what I want for you. That's what I want for us. That's what I want for children. But unless we put these resources together in the house, I'm not talking about collaborating with every organization at this point. I'm over that. I'm literally talking about the children, the mom, the dad. If mom and dad ain't together, it still don't stop nothing from rocking because both of those people want their grandchildren to have. So it's a collaboration in the household. Everybody this year, put your refund together and go do something big. That's what matters. And if you had that kind of why, you would understand that agriculture is extremely important. Now the solution, once again, it's all about, complain. No, my solution to that is, on my land, my entrepreneurship will be to help people. Radiation and device addiction. That last situation with the 12-year-old that killed her cousin, which was like 8 or 9, based on some sort of fight they had over the phone. And then now they're gonna try this baby as an adult because she's gonna turn 13 here shortly. And I say, hell no. We need to adjust and address why this child was so addicted to this device. And this is an issue that needs remediation or some sort of rehabilitation. No different than a drug. This is a big issue with this device, and we're sleeping in rooms that have routers and things in them. We're not listening to the vibration of nature, the natural orchestra. The real Son of God has a sound, and it's S-U-N, not S-O-N. And if you do this on Sunday, and if it's supposed to be called S-O-N Day, then why ain't nobody went to go change it? Moon Day, Monday. We need these elements to be found in body, in self. If you do not have the sounds of the crickets and the buzzing of all of these things, even insect bites are more of your immunizations than anything. So stop betraying self. You don't have to collaborate with other organizations from this point on. Just learn how to work with your family. And if you don't know how to work with your family, go create one. And if you can't do that, then you're the problem. And figure it out. But continually doing the same thing over and over again is definitely insanity. So you continue to go worship here when the Almighty moves in silence. Why did Jesus go alone? Like, why did everybody go by themselves to get the message? I don't get the message with you. I can celebrate with you, but I don't get the message. So get the message with your family. Know what y'all need. If you are on public housing right now or whatever, who is all going to do what so we can move forward? Period. That's the basis. That's the why of the agriculture. Once you get the land, there are some things you will have to outsource. And if you don't have the eye to know where your water should be, what you should grow next to what, because you might want to grow a certain crop. Let's say tomatoes. But most people don't know, what is tomato's best friend? in the whole wide world. Basil. They're companion plants. And so therefore, outside of this, you have some companion people too. But they grow so good together. It's not that the people, oh, such a great scientist, I'm gonna grow these things together. That's why tomatoes always with basil and sauces. Just because they're good for each other. Go find what's good for you and grow next to that. Another thing I wanted to talk about, let me see. Being the best version of yourself is a very imperative, intentional task. And that also means remembering, harboring, and not operating in your feelings all the time. It has to be more about what is practical, what is needed, and to move forward with that in mind. And really nothing other. You have to be so intentional with your resources. And you cannot abuse the land. You can't abuse your resources, your partnerships. You can't grow the same thing over and over again. We shouldn't get to a situation or a point where we're okay. Because if you are okay right now, that doesn't mean the next person is okay. It doesn't mean your household is okay. It doesn't mean your kids are okay. Environment, soil, building soil. Did you know in the process of building soil, it's so imperative that if a plant is sick, more than likely it's its environment. Therefore, we are sick because our environment is sick. Where we go is sick, where we go to learn, where we go to do it, we're not well. And in other countries, soil is so important that is the prenatal pill for pregnant women. They go take a scoopful of soil every day as their prenatal pill because it has everything needed in it. But ours is lacking. So when you start building your soil, start building your garden, start building a place to grow, I want to leave you with the opportunity that if you're deficient in things in your soil, when you go to try to grow and you have to do a soil test, but when you figure out what those deficiencies are, more than likely those deficiencies are in you too, because it's your environment. So you're sharing deficiencies, but your goal should be to add the nutrients, the filthy rich nutrients that is needed to grow. Your soil is important. Do not treat the plant or the child or the human in the bad situation. Treat the environment. And that has been proven to us via science on a regular basis. And let's see. Any questions from the audience? Anybody? Yes, sir.
You talked about the being on government assistance and using your resources and finding out, buying more fresh food and experimenting. Can you talk about that a little bit, why mom and single dads go on those programs and how they can use that same concept?
Yes. Utilizing the produce, utilizing your benefits. It's a very scary thing, don't get me wrong, because you're like, okay, how am I gonna make it? I need these little food stamps or I need these things. So as far as stretching food, one way that you can do that is to participate with the, most grocery stores have produce that is getting ready to go bad. It hasn't gone bad necessarily all the way, it still has life in it. It can be washed off, it still has value. There's three things you can do with repurposed food. One is to try to extract the seeds, and let's use a tomato or a strawberry as an example. If I had a tomato or a strawberry and this was my paper towel, I'm just gonna smush that little puppy up in there. I'm gonna slice it, of course, put a slice off. I'm gonna smush it in this paper towel. I'm gonna set it on the little counter. I'm gonna ask the kids to go get some soil in a pot, and we're just gonna put it in there and bury it and water it. Cause I spent my food stamps on these strawberries. One of them is going bad, and it definitely has some seeds on it. This tomato is from the grocery store. You could also try different approaches to, maybe bake this or look up a recipe for that. The things, so you're repurposing it in a way that you hadn't before. And then also you could make soil. That's what I do. I make compost. I'm the creator of my compost. So it's a balance as well. You don't want to let anybody give you 500 tomatoes, or you don't want to buy 500 because you don't need that much, to do what you're trying to do. But experiment with those onions. Let the babies put those in water and regrow them. Treat your herbs like a bouquet. Cut them, put them in water, let them sit around the house. That's a great aromatherapy opportunity, in addition to looking at greenery changes the dynamics. It cleans the air as well. So those are some ways from the grocery store that you could add value with your benefits. And also, a lot of times we don't know we feel bad when we eat something because we're so used to doing it. So fasting is something that the earth has to do. It has to rest. And the Son of God, S-U-N, dies for 3 days every year, y'all. You can't do nothing with it. You shouldn't grow during these times, or you're gonna hurt yourself, because these plants really are not going to respond. They don't have a vibration, and they don't have what they need. So correlation, always considering agriculture with the holidays is another way you can stay on track with some things. Valentine's Day, completely full of love, even though Cupid was a little, dangerous dude on, the holiday side of it. But that particular time is the best time to start your spring crops. And Easter, in between Easter and Passover, that's when you actually implement in the ground. Halloween is when everything is dead. Your farmers markets is supposed to be done by then. You're supposed to already have everything in the ground. Everything is going to take a slow leap. Harvest, what do you call it? Thanksgiving, you're going to harvest a lot of things, and you're going to fertilize a lot of things. So it's nutrients for both the ground and the human at that time. But creating what is needed for self, and that means how to remember things, how to do things. If you can correlate how to do what you need to do with those holidays, then you're a pretty good farmer already. If you can correlate or maintain your health when you maintain your car, then you're off to a great start too. Every 3 months you go get that oil change, or every so many miles. But every so many miles, we're not getting those shoes we need to protect those feet. And we're not detoxing the way we need to. And these things will always keep us in alignment with the universe. So any other questions out here? Yes, ma'am.
What are the 3 days you're talking about in the year?
So the December Christmas time is our 3 days of death. And sometimes it can fall to the 21st through the 24th, or, it just depends. But we are also being duped right now with our calendar. We're on a 12-month calendar, and we're really supposed to be on a 13-month calendar, and which every month would have 28 days, and that would make it easier for women to remember their cycles and things of that nature. But also it would keep us with the vibration of the universe. Like, we would be in spaces where we know what month we're in. We're kind of confused based on just the fact that we're out of whack. It feels like it's spring right now, even though it's still, we're in the wrong seasons, we're not really appropriately paying attention. We also don't know how to read our insects. And one of the assignments, I got my permaculture education from Cuba. And our first assignment when we got there, on a farm in Montana, was, to go see. So we're all just out there looking like, these people, here we go, this is raggedy assignment. And come to find out, if you go each day, you will start to see like, the bumblebees only come at 10. Oh, wow. It's getting ready to rain because the ant hills are so high. Wow. You start to like really immerse yourself. So recently on my little piece of land that I got in Maybank here in Texas, my professor, I am a co-founder of Soil and Souls, and that's in New York, but her assignment was that I had to do 2-hour increments so that the whole 24 hours, eventually I know what's going on. And I was so amazed to say, my son will come through these trees for the mulberries at this time. If I just to know that is so imperative, so rewarding, but we don't pay attention, and we're not paying attention to our children in that way either. And that was a heartbreaking reality. From a place of know it all, and I've done it all, and I'm destruction for self, and a lot of, hindering ideas and thoughts, and being in my feelings, most of the time as a young person. But when you look at how detailed you need to be to pay attention to let something thrive, and then it's a plant, and you didn't do this for your kids. That right there can bring some tears to people's eyes. I didn't pay attention enough because this societal norm or this place they have to be. And once again, back to agriculture. I want this comfrey, this bone thing, I want it to be right here, and it don't want to be there. It doesn't. And one thing I just learned on a Wild Seed Farm with Soil and Souls and the Gathering of Nations with sacred geometry, and how cities, in addition to successful farmers, they have a science on how to plant things according to the stars. And when we started to, do the math and everything, you started to see that weeds that we think are weeds, but a lot of us have mugwort in our yard and mullein and all these things, but they're growing right where they're supposed to. And what is wrong with me not doing such a hard job and rethinking the universe and just going digging it up and putting what I need right there? And so doing that was like the easiest thing ever. So this is another reason why I can't grow with churches or schools anymore, is because aesthetically now of what they believe is beautiful. And the fact that weeds are so important, which we can like label them to a certain type of person in life, but your weeds, they're so imperative to maintain hydration and to omit erosion and to create a form, a structure in the soil for integrity. And so, so once you just correlate and you just chill and realize what has to happen for these plants, and you realize how deficient you were for yourself and for your family, your goal is to be way more intentional now. And so with that said, if there's no more questions, I'm Darcia Houston, better known as Major Melanin. That is DARCIEA, Houston like the city. And I say that because my mom didn't follow the I before E except at the C rule. Got your girl out here explaining every day. So I'm on most social platforms. The things that I do, I wanted to run down to you because I am a person of solution. So once again, Filthy Rich Nutrients is a soil business. I created that and failed fast. I felt so fast because I was over there. I helped Paul Quinn College start their farmers market when they did in 2014. And so I was like, man, everybody's like, oh, this is so cool. I want to grow. I want to grow. You know, it's like all these clients, and you get out to their house and you realize they don't have the water access. They got glass in their soil. They don't want to garden at summer, you know, ever. And, you know, it's just so many things that I just assumed that this business was going to take off and we was going to partner with everybody, but no, I failed. So what did I do when I failed? I just started making more soil myself so that I can do videography and photography, show people what to do, you know, for myself. So that was the way that I wanted to mend and aid things, and travel and go show other people farms. I did a short film in Georgia, and this family, they don't think anything of it. They just thought this was normal. And I was just like, ooh, you can charge $1,500 for this experience. I swear to God, you could. But we went and they said we were gonna go crabbing. And I was like, okay, I love crab. Let's go get some crab, you know. And I had went out all that, you know, that night before. My outfit was all jacked up, but went and I was so tired and sleepy. And we get there and they said, oh, well, let's go get some oysters. And I'm thinking, okay, we're gonna do crab and oysters, whatever. So I start filming. We go down there and get some oysters, and it took them like 20 minutes. They have buckets, and they said that was a bushel. So I said, well, how much is this bushel? It took 20 minutes down here. And they was eating oysters too as they were harvesting. And they said, this is $90 a bushel. 20 minutes, $90. Oh, wow, now, see, this is how you get the kids. That's the only way I can get the kids too when I'm going to talk, is this money right here. 20 minutes, this is dope money is what I said. Yo, let's go. So then we went to the other side and it was like, well, let's get mussels. But they're paying attention to the land. They knew they could get oysters over here and that they could go get mussels on the other side. So then we go to the other side, they pull out some, you know, grocery bag and they're digging down and they're pulling up these mussels. So now we got oysters and mussels. Then they say, well, let's go pull up the crabs. So then they go pull up the baskets. There was baskets hanging on both sides that they had done before I got here. Now we got crab in there. Then they said, let's net. I see bubbles. They threw a net, and if I tell y'all, we pulled up 30 feet, first cast, because they understood what they were doing. I couldn't believe it. Ooh, it was just so I do that. I go and show what's possible for us to try. And then with the women's event, it's an erotic event. And the reason I started this event, I thought I was going to attract a certain demographic. Maybe it was biased, but I did. I really thought so. And when I had the event, the very first event, it was trench coats and lingerie and trench coats. We were gonna learn about vaginal health and all this other. I mean, the most educated, sophisticated women showed up, and I was just like, oh wow, I didn't think that this would be appealing, you know, to this audience. And once again, shame on me, it was a bias. I shouldn't have thought that. But because I was in a demographic where I was managing the farmers market for women, infant, and children, and I was having this particular dialogue, and they had so many questions, and they're at this facility getting iron pills when the best iron you can get in the whole wide world is beets. And pregnant women can't eat beets because it's too concentrated, so they really need to eat the beet greens, which is better known as Swiss chard. And why are they always selling us everything separate? You know, like my turnips and my turnip greens. Like, no, put it together. It's a whole food. It's like the family is a whole thing. And that's why you have to teach the whole family. Because when you teach the children, you're gonna get the kid beat up. But speaking of, we're talking against. And if you know, the parents are busy, so if you can get the child and the grandparent, you might be able to do something. I know I kind of jumped around there, but I know my time is running low. Any other questions? No? Thank you so much for your time, everybody.
Amazing, amazing. One of the things I want to say is that we appreciate your passion and we look forward to visiting your new site. And I hope that as we are growing as a nation and as a people, that we take advantage of these learning opportunities. Because when I met you and Justin, I was like, wow. And you know, we got these young, I call them like I'm old, I feel like New Jack geniuses walking around in our community and we're not using it. So every time we have an event in the country, we gotta figure out a way to pay you to come and meet you there, because you have a plethora of ideas and concepts that really work. Thank you again.
Thank you as well.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's give her another round of applause. One of the things I did want to say was that I worked on a program and it was amazing to see what we don't know about our people. I just recently celebrated the Ethiopian holiday of New Year's. Everybody's like, what do you mean? I said, most people don't understand the Ethiopian holiday is actually on September 11th. Although it's a horrible day that of infamy within our nation, but that 9-month Ethiopian holiday is a beautiful thing. And I want to say this to everyone as we get ready to take a break. Please contact these speakers because they have a beautiful amount of information they're willing to share. And everything we need in our community, we have. We got to stop making our kids feel like our community is inferior. We have so many resources, so many resources. If I ask everybody in this room, where is the strongest antibiotic found? What would you tell me?
In the ground.
In the ground. I grew up in that Afro-Caribbean culture where you see the old pastors go outside and bury themselves up to the place where they were sick and start reading scripture. Everybody was laughing at them. But in reality, they knew. When you call our people witch doctors and voodoo doctors, because they can make your heart rate slow down. They can make your hair grow or make it fall out. They can lower your blood pressure. We come to find out, we used to watch those old Tarzan movies all the time. And we thought Tarzan was over there beating up everybody because his family was over there trying to get to some ivory. When in reality, they were trying to get the Timbuktu to our Egyptian mystic system that our people had so long. That knowledge, they wanted to think that everybody in Africa running around with grass skirts on. And they're uneducated and they're savage. And the truth of it is, brilliant, they're beautifully educated. And we are making ourselves orphans to their knowledge. And we talk about the earth, Sunday, Moon Day, Monday. We talk about the scripture in the Bible. We even take our scripture, we make ourselves orphans in our own land. And we need to find out how to get back in contact with our land, how we can eat to live. There's a book called How to Eat to Live. And this is a beautiful season we're having right now. It's Dusty in Houston, Filthy Rich LLC, fantastic job. We need to start talking about this thing. Where did that coronavirus come from originally? How did it come in the aerosol and become weaponized? What is causing it? What are the effects of it? I used to walk around for 20 years and watch sisters. I avoided buying milk that said vitamin D on the side of it. They wanted skim milk. Come to find out, the strongest thing to fight the virus in ourselves was vitamin D. We've got to do better, learn more. And as a non-scientist, please do your research. Let's teach each other and learn from each other. We're going to take a 5-minute break. Thank you again, Mr. Houston, Filthy Rich LLC, Dallas, Texas. Thank you again.